And see how the indoctrination system, that's what it triggers in people, all this anxiety, all this frustration, anger. It's that distorted, sort of like Aries distorted stuff. And it's twisted up and kinked Aries. And well, okay, so so in order to become that true conduit with the equal give and take, I don't even like how I said that, because that doesn't even do it justice of what's happening. It's just the electromagnetic field operating how it's supposed to operate. It's closer to that seamless conduction. And so
the biofeedback, the natural biofeedback.
Yeah, the natural biofeedback. Yeah, that's good. How do we clear out the vessel? How do we clear out the hose so that things can be turned on higher and the kinks can be worked out and the biofeedback is more pure? How do we do that? How do we clear it out?
Well, I feel like
that's a big
question. In my experience,
I don't even know.
Yeah, well, so in my experience, it was like I was like, it's a little different because I was like kind of being rewired and saved. So like not saved, but like it's different for me because it was not like, I think that that's one of the biggest things between my experience and some other different, like, you know, is like I was not seeking nothing.
I was not either.
I was like I wasn't even interested. Like you said something psychic, I was like, get the fuck away from me.
I did that too. I'm like made fun of it.
All the time. Like,
yeah.
Okay, I used to like do shit like but yeah, so anyways, with clearing the, like, it was just like I was having fucking full on meltdowns. I couldn't be any other way.
Yeah.
Like it was no
meltdown.
And like it was like, bitch, you came here to be or don't be here. Like it's like, and so it was like a lot of different kinds of purging. And I see this now in hindsight, like in these different ways, but it was very much that strategic placement. And I just got pushed into a corner where I was just so fucking miserable. I was like willing to try anything and I was open to hear anything. And when things started actually like shifting, because that's the other thing, is I was in so much physical pain. Like I was like struggling to get my like arms up in the air. Like that was like it. And so the level of like frustration and anger that like comes, but I think like that's what kind of split me open to be so open
when it's that dark and that heavy and that physical,
life or death.
Life or death in
nobody
your life, you open.
And that's what I've been saying recently, is that I'm not anti anything. I am pro life. I am pro humanism. I am pro fucking life. I am pro I am pro information. I am pro truth. I said I am not anti anything. You know what's anti? This fucking world is anti-humanism. When you actually fucking like, and then I start like,
I'm running this
trying to make me mad. You're trying to make me mad.
I see red.
I didn't know that you can just like see and feel colors so intensely up until you know, like they're real they're real bandwidths. But I don't know, like I think that that's like so personal, like the clearing of the things, like, and it's just like this, like it's like ding, when it's time to awaken, it's time. And it's very individual. Like I think there's the overlays where, you know, you question your sanity, you purge all the fucking stuff, you start to like get real with how you feel, and just like, you know, there's a lot of like real mind bending in all the different areas of like emotional states that you kind of like get to that place where you're like
working out those kinks.
We know nothing.
Yeah, we know
Just
nothing.
forward.
Well,
Back at square one.
The heart knows everything, but that everything and nothing, but like that whole perception as reality is just so controlled. There are no facts. And thinking about clearing the vessel is so personal. And that makes me think of sometimes when there's massive physical trauma, it's like the opportunity to be rewired or something, but it has to be, I just like felt it has to be pulled apart, and then it can be assembled with new patterns and new wiring.
It's no different than rebuilding a car or an engine.
Yeah, and not only going through physical trauma, but then also it just boils down to the personal blueprint. And
I was literally going to say genetic capacity. That was like the first
that too.
Well, which I think is the blueprint, the genetic capacity blueprint, one and the same.
It's communicating with the blueprint. Yeah. I mean, it is the same, but they're like that. Yeah.
It's what is the biofeedback. And that's the other thing that I'm starting to realize is we're not all genetic equals. And like we are equally here to like embody these different roles. Genetic, and that's like what I'm starting to that's what I'm starting to realize is can't fucking be comparing anything except for like previous versions of yourself. Don't compare it to nothing.
Anyone else's makeup. Yeah.
Because it's not a fair comparison. It's literally apples and oranges, because like when with the soul's origin. And so I kind of come into this like, because I can sometimes really kind of, it's really clear to me the different timelines in some of the souls, like where and why. It's like sometimes I know like where they came in time and space. I don't know. I think it's because like part of the genetics is there. It's no different than the cell memory when like when somebody is like, oh, I went to this amusement park, and they're like, I was standing in that exact same spot. You can feel it, you can smell it, you know what it's like. And I think that's like the time, like I think that sometimes happens like when people are just speaking about like trying to figure out when they're speaking about their like, you know, trying to cite like decipher was the word, siphon weird, but decipher the like information that's coming through. But yeah, it's I don't know, it's so interesting that genetic capacity. But